equinox. Autumnal equinox marks the moment when the balance of light and darkness shifts. Now the darker months take root. Persephone makes her yearly descent into the underworld, and summer's warmth begins to ebb. One reality is replaced with another.
I left the tiny town of Abiquiu on a dirt road in the darkness of an October evening with nothing around me for miles. I took a left to go toward the Christ in the Desert Monastery and drove 13 miles into the canyon. The landscape is different from what I'm used to back east. I can't see anything yet. It is the darkest dark I have ever known in my life. I'm nervous about going to a monastery for a week. This is the land where lizards, snakes, scorpions, and tarantulas abide. Yeah, I've done some research on this. It was the fear of losing control over my life that led me here. I had been dating this guy on and off for 3 years. He's a composer. You know, the tortured artist. Driven only by his need to create, needing his time alone, and someone to do his laundry. Yeah, I really thought he was the one. And then I had a couple of health scares, and he was totally not there when I needed him for emotional support, or even a ride to the hospital. Trouble was, I was having a hard time distancing myself from him. Yeah, I spent weekends at his apartment. I called him when I needed advice. A monastery retreat seemed like just the thing to get some perspective. So I pull my rental car into the lot. I walk up to a wooden gate with a little plaque that reads, "Welcome. There is no electricity in guest rooms, but there are battery-operated lanterns in the utility room. Please use towels sparingly." So I get my suitcase out of the trunk. I find a walkway with my little flashlight. Everyone's in bed, though it's barely 9 o'clock. They're all up at like 5 a.m. or something. So, trying not to wake anyone, I'm walking quietly, though the wheels on my suitcase are going, eat, eat, eat. Eat, eat. Eat, 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 eat. I find my room, which is on the end, with a porch overlooking the river. White plaster, a simple cross hanging on the wall. Simple, but lovely. I drop my suitcase, find the utility room, and grab 2 lanterns. I think to myself, I had better take a good look around. Under one bed is a big hole where wall and floor meet. And I thought, well, that's not going to work. Anything could come out of that hole. So I take the extra pillow, stuff it into the hole, put a lit lantern next to it. Snakes come out at night. Perfect size hole for that. All I can think of is what a friend told me when she went to New Mexico and had woken up with a huge snake wrapped around her in her sleeping bag. I had talked to my ex-boyfriend the night before. He grew up in Arizona. Should I be worried? Keep your shoes on a shelf. You'll be fine. Check your shoes before you put them on. Yeah, but what if I have to use the bathroom in the middle of the night? He says, check your shoes before you put them on. Well, this does not console me. Scorpions come out at night. There's no one around to ask anything. But wait. If they're all in bed, they must have a lantern. All those lanterns I saw in the utility room must be extras. So I'm going to get all the lanterns. I'm going back and forth, get about 20 of them. Lots of good light. Keep away anything creepy. The next morning, there's a knock at my door. A monk is standing there, a brown robe, rope belt, right out of the Middle Ages. And by his side is a younger monk, Asian, dressed in blue robes. Buddhist monks from overseas stay with them sometimes. Brown monk says, "We wanted to make sure you made it. Got settled in." This is my first encounter with a monk. Do I call him father? I don't want to offend. I've already broken the rules because I showed up after hours. So I say, "Oh no, I'm fine, sir." Okay, I almost called him Your Holiness. Then the monk looks past my shoulder and says, "Oh my God,